So real quick, I am the least important person in this talk, but I want to introduce myself super fast. I'm Ryan Ripley. I'm a professional Scrum trainer with Scrum.org. I'm at the booth all day. If you want to talk about that stuff, come and find me. I could talk about Scrum for hours, and trust me, if you engage me, I will. You've been warned. All right, this is the other half of the room. How many of you have been in a meeting that has sucked? Who wants to end terrible meetings? We're going to do that today. We're going to work together. So my great helpers are handing out some Post-its. We might end up just using pieces of paper. We're going to make this work, though. But what I'm going to do, using the power of liberating structures, we're going to end terrible meetings. First of all, though, we need to talk about what we're trying to solve. This first structure is called impromptu networking. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to find a partner, and you're going to talk about this invitation. How effective are the meetings that you currently attend at work? How effective? I'm not saying fun, interesting, boring. How effective are the meetings that you're currently attending at work? I want you to take 2 minutes, find a partner, discuss that topic, and we'll see what we come up with. How effective are those meetings? All right, I hope you've had good conversations. Part 2. All right, we got to be tight on this. Our timeline, we have a timeline, everybody. Or we have a date we have to hit, right? In 50 minutes, they kick us all out. We're going to be super tight on these time boxes, okay? Part 2 of impromptu networking, find a new partner, continue the conversation, but talk about the common themes of how effective your meetings are. What did you learn from the last person? How do they apply to your new conversation? So new person, you know these chairs, it's a cool piece of technology, right? They turn. You can even talk to people from other tables. It's amazing. Another 2 minutes. Hi. Did that work? Can everybody hear it? I usually use these in rooms much smaller and annoy everybody. Maybe did that cut through? That did pretty well, right? Last round of impromptu networking, but this time, what are all the things? So first, let me step back. One final new partner, right? You're going to talk to one other person. What are the things you learned from the other 2 conversations about effective meetings in the places you work? And then we'll debrief quickly, all right? One more conversation. All right. What you've just done is called impromptu networking. 3 rounds of conversations. First one, discovering ideas. The second 2, looking to build on those ideas, but look for patterns. Very quickly, 3 or 4 people, what patterns did you find? I'd love to hear from you. If you throw a hand up, I'll come talk to you. All right, back here, then over here. What'd you figure out? Have an agenda, and if it doesn't have an agenda, leave. I like it. What else about effective meetings? This common theme was have an agenda, and if it doesn't, leave. All right. So now someone from the back's going to make me come back, right? So I'll come up here, and at least I'll get my steps in, right? CrossFit yesterday was really painful. I can't run. My quads are killing me. Yeah, so making sure that people are on the same page before and after. Is what I said what you actually heard? Who's been in that spot? Yeah. Yikes. I've actually said something, and the look on my wife's face was horrible, and I was like, wait a minute, what did I say? Because I didn't mean to say what I think you just heard, but if you do the verification, crisis averted, right? Yes?
Don't have a meeting unless you need to have one.
Yeah, is this meeting really an email masquerading as a meeting? Who's been in that? Awesome. Awesome insights. Think about what we just did here, right? Sorry, we're going to, just for the time box. I'm sure it's a great idea, though. Think about what we just did here. How many people are in this room? Right? I'm not good at counting like that. Lots of people in the room. We were able to just share, debrief, and have these ideas in under 10 minutes. And now I think we have 4 actionable ideas to make our meetings better. Is that fair? It's probably one of the best meetings you ever sat in. Ooh, tricky, right? All right, there's the debrief. Impromptu networking. We are doing liberating structures. I want to give you some quick information. This is the only time I'll lecture or discuss these without some kind of interaction. I hope you'll let me set this up just a little bit. What are liberating structures? 33 microstructures that unleash the superpowers of your teams. Far too many times in a meeting, one half of the room does all the talking, the other half of the room does all the listening. What was said is not what was heard. What was heard is not what was said. Everyone leaves confused. All the hands go up when we say, do we hate meetings? The answer is yes. Liberating structures is here to change that, right? There are different ways to discuss and share information. A lot of us sit through presentations. These are these big PowerPoint decks. You might see a few of those today, right? Maybe. So there's status reporting, managed discussions. Even brainstorming isn't all that great. There's usually only a few brains and a lot of storms, right? Not so awesome. Open discussion. You would think open discussion would be positive, right? How often have you seen it devolve into argumentation and all sorts of, I have to win, negativity, complaining sessions? Open discussion without guided facilitation is actually dangerous, in my honest opinion. So now enter liberating structures, all right? These structures allow us to speak and work together and talk and share ideas collaboratively, quickly. Everyone gets heard. Every person in this room had an opportunity to speak in their groups, right? And with 3 other people, and debrief in their tables, and hear a few ideas from others. There's no exclusion in liberating structures. We actually leverage diversity of people, of thought, of minds. We get the best ideas forward. It's a meritocracy. The best ideas come forward and we act on them, okay? Some interesting information here. Henry Lipmanowitz and Keith McCandless, they've been working on these for 20 years. These are not new, right? That book up there is an excellent resource. There's an app for that. If you go in the App Store, Android and iPhone, search Liberating Structures. There's an awesome app that you can use to learn these. I use these in all the Scrum events, right? These are different ways to facilitate anything that has to do with people coming together to speak. If you want to learn more or get experience, there's some regional gatherings coming up. You should get all the slides from Agile2019. Check out all the links. Come see me at the scrum.org booth if you want to learn more. Happy to discuss. Questions? Yes?
You talk about engaging the other half of the room. What do you do when the other half of the room is offshore or remote?
Yeah, so what do you do when the other half of the room is not in the room?
Yes.
Okay. What do we do for the remote people? I personally have started using Zoom. Zoom has breakout rooms. You can facilitate almost every one of these liberating structures in Zoom with a breakout room. Okay? Cool. Great question. Thanks for that. But now I want to solve the problem. We've primed the pump, right? We've talked about, are we in meetings that don't make sense? Yes. What does an effective meeting look like? We have a few ideas. I want to talk about the behaviors behind those, all right? This is a liberating structure called a TRIZ. TRIZ is interesting. We're going to walk through this, but you're going to actually do all the work. It's my favorite. This is the best kind of talk for a speaker, right? I have like 7 slides. You do all the work. Everyone claps for me at the end. It's really nice, right? Here's my invitation to you. You are not obligated to do this. That's the other great thing about liberating structures. It's by invitation. I'm inviting you to a question. You decide what to do with it, right? How can we create the most horrible, no good, very bad meeting? How could we do that? How could we make sure that we have the ultimate dumpster fire of meetings? All right? So if you have Post-its, hopefully there's a few Post-its at your tables. I want you to write 1 idea per Post-it. If you just have paper, feel free to use your paper. But I want you to think of all the ways that you could make sure to have the most horrible, no good, very bad meeting. I'm going to give you a minute on your own to generate a list. I want you to go crazy. Poison everybody in the room would be a very bad meeting, right? Locking the doors and not letting anyone in the room would lead to a very bad meeting, or that might be a good meeting, actually. I want you to go crazy with this. 1 minute, I want you to think about how could you have the most horrible, no good, very bad meeting on your own, okay? And I'll check in with you in a minute. How can we make sure that the next meeting you're in is the worst experience you've ever had? Who would you invite? Ooh, that could be too direct. Don't answer that. All right. Now, I want you to find a friend and continue. The purpose of this pairing, I mean, you're going to spend 2 minutes with a partner. What I want you to do, I want you to pair up, talk about your list, but the idea here is to expand. The purpose of this 2 minutes is to make your list bigger, but you're going to do it with a friend, okay? So take your ideas, combine them, refine them. How can you go crazy, right? How can you really make sure this next meeting is just the worst? All right, for this last 4 minutes, and I'm saying 4, it might feel like 2, because it'll probably be 2. Facilitator's discretion, right? For this last 4 minutes, I want you to engage your whole table. Your entire table. What have you already come up with? How crazy is your list? How big has it gotten? How can we make it even bigger? Whole table. All right, so that's the fun part of the TRIZ, right? That's part 1. So now we have these crazy lists of things that could really make a meeting awful. A very no, good, bad, something, 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 something. Horrible meeting, right? What's your best? How can we make sure it's horrible? What do you think? I'll take a few. Shout them out. Schedule over lunch, no food. Turn the heat up in the room. Order smelly food. Not enough chairs. Oh, so people, oh. What's that? Bad facilitator. I hope that's not the case. She said bad facilitator. I'm taking that personally. It's easy. Or no facilitator, yes.
Be sure to have a speaker that doesn't respect or know or care about the audience.
Oh, a disrespectful speaker. That's, oof. I respect all of you. Everyone bringing laptops, no technology policies. So actually what's fun in a meeting, quick tip, pro tip, right? All right, who all agree that we should pay attention? They put their hands up, and that means good, so put your laptops to closed. So use your hand and bring them down, right? Awesome way to shut the laptops. Love it. One more, yes? Yes, if there's PowerPoint or brainstorming, I leave. I have no time for fights. All right, that's the fun part of TRIZ. Part 2, the invitation. What are you exhibiting now that models the first list we just created? And so what I want you to do is find a few tables and bring your list together. And so as a Scrum trainer, I strongly believe in self-organization. I'm not going to tell you which tables need to team up. However, this works well if 3 or 4 tables get their lists together. Take a hard look at these lists and think about, what am I doing today? Or what is a similar behavior to what's on this list? All right? And so what I want you to do is start, first of all, get together quickly, self-organize, get these lists together, big lists, take a collective, holistic look at them, and I want you to start identifying behaviors or themes that you're actually doing yourself or you're seeing in your organizations. All right? I'll give you a minute or 2 to self-organize and reflect on the list on your own. What we're considering now, so now that we're in groups, you have these lists. What are the behaviors that you're exhibiting today? What are you doing now that you need to stop? Yeah, so let me help with the guidance a little bit. Now that we've come together as teams, right? So we have these groups. We are looking at these big lists of things that we've discovered, and we're figuring out what are the things we're currently doing. What are the behaviors that we're actually causing or creating in our organizations, right? We're trying to identify these bad practices that exist in our lives today. I'll give you another minute to discuss. All right, I think we've already started working with each other on these lists and identifying behaviors, so we'll move right into that. I want you to take a look, though. Let's pause for a minute. Let's go meta just for a second. I want you to look around the room and see what's happening. We've all self-selected into groups, right? There are some people who are facilitating, and I see hands going up, I see consensus building, I see people discuss. You are all deciding how to actually explore these issues, right? I have set a structure for you. You are thriving and flourishing within it, right? Who feels like their voice is not being heard right now? Anybody? There are hundreds of people in this room and no one feels silent. One? All right. There's always one in the room. Seriously, though, we have a couple hundred, at least 200 or 300 people. Is that fair? And not a single silenced voice. That's insane, isn't it? And you're all doing the work. All right, let's continue. We'll make a modification here since we're already working in these large groups. We'll go down to as a group, as a holistic group, what are the behaviors we're doing? We'll spend 2 more minutes here and then debrief. All right? Thanks for letting me interrupt you. All right. That is part 2 of the TRIZ, right? So it starts out fun. Let's think about all the ways we can turn a meeting into a dumpster fire. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. What are we doing to turn meetings into dumpster fires? That's kind of a hard right turn or left turn, isn't it? Part 3, though, let's get back to positive. What is one thing you can do to change this? We're going to use a liberating structure, a new one, right? I guess they're all new right now. We're going to use another one, I should say, to figure out what's the number one idea in the room. Think that's possible? What's the single best idea in the room? And here's what we're going to do. Everyone needs a Post-it or a piece of paper. All right? And on this Post-it or a piece of paper, here's what you're going to do. You're going to write, what is the one thing that we must do to make meetings better? And now if we've heard agendas, and let's go past that. Hopefully our conversations have primed the pump. We're past the obvious, so consider what we've done here, right? We've gotten the obvious answers out. We've had deeper discussions. What is the one thing that you must do when you go back to make meetings better? Okay? And what you're going to do is write that on the front of a Post-it note or a piece of paper. And then once you have that, hold that up in the air, and when the majority of the people are holding something up, we'll continue. All right, as we wrap up writing our ideas, I'm going to talk. We really have to pay attention to this part. This one gets messy. This one will get weird, all right? So we need to really, and I explain it poorly, so we're in trouble both ways. Here's what we're going to do. Don't do this yet. Everyone just anchor, right? Get rooted. You're going to take your Post-it, and you're going to start walking around. Don't do it yet. And you're going to trade it with people, all right? So you're going to give your idea off into the world. And when I ring the bells, you're going to stop with the idea that you have. And you're going to turn to a person and you're going to discuss the idea quickly. And you're going to rank each idea on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being, let's do 0 to 5. 0 being, this is, no, not happening. 5 being, I wish I'd thought of this, I have to do this tomorrow. Or you have some numbers in between, right? Once you've done that, hold your cards up. And when the majority of the room has their cards up, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it again. We're going to trade until I ring the bells. And we're going to do 5 rounds of this. Okay? Yes?
Is it a distribution of 5 points, or I can give 5 points?
You can each give 5. It's not you're not splitting them up. You can both, great question. Both ideas can be 5s. Both can be 0s. They can be anything in between. Okay? All right, so everyone needs to be up.
Are we writing this down, or we just...
Oh, yes. See, I explained this poorly. Thank you. You're going to take the score that you decide on and write it on the back of the Post-it. Okay? Exchange. We're just trading. All right, find a partner and score the idea from 1 to 5, or 0 to 5. Does every Post-it or idea have 1 score on the back? We just need 1 score. Cross 2 of them out.
Let's go with the highest.
All right.
Or the average.
So now we're going to we're basically just mulling around and trading. I will ring the bells. So now that we have a little experience, we can talk a little deeper about this. If there are multiple scores on your Post-it, only keep the highest. There should only be 1 score on every Post-it. This is why we walked through the first one. It's better to just do it, and then we'll correct it. Multiple thoughts on a card, pick the best one. There's only one score on each card, right? Round 2, we're going to trade with people. Do not score until you hear the bells and hear me say score. Okay? And when I say that, find the person nearest to you, do a quick discussion, and then hold them up when you're done.
Are we supposed to have a discussion?
Quick discussion.
After we've traded several times.
After you trade several times, yes. Hold on. As many as you can in the time limit. You trade all right, just trade. No scores.
Just keep trading.
Just trade. We're trying to mix them up. All right, find a partner and score the idea. This will be the second score on your card. Put your hand up if you need a partner. Sorry. All right, go ahead and score these. Find a partner. Quickly put the third score. All right. We're going to trade again. Wrap up your scores. So you should have 3 numbers on each card, right? Yes. All right, go ahead and start trading. All right, go ahead and put a score. Find a partner, score these quickly. All right. Last round. This will be the 5th score we put on, right? So go ahead and trade. Trade, trade, trade. All right, go ahead and put the 5th score on the card. All right? When you're done, put your hand up. Put your card up. Okay, the last step. I have some math for you to do. I need you to add the 5 numbers up, and whatever total that is, write the number on the card and circle it, please. Either or. But we're going to do some quick math. Add the 5 numbers, add them up, write the number on the card somewhere, circle it. Who's ready? Add them up. Who has a 25? Please come see me. 25s are right here. Who's got a 24? 24s, come right up here. 25s are over there. Keep it. 24s right here. Where's 23? How about right here? How about 22s? How about 22s right up here? How about 21s? Right here, and 20s at the end. Everyone else, sorry you didn't make it. Now, I want you to take a look if you look, I want you to consider what we have at the front of the room right now. We have 25 to 20, the best ideas of the room. Do you know what this looks like to me? This looks like an ordered product backlog to me. I'm kidding, but I'm not. How easy would it be? We did this in 15 minutes? The next time your product owner says, I don't know how to build a product backlog, 2510 crowdsourcing, we have one right now. What are the 25s? What are the answers?
Mine's agenda.
Have an agenda. What else?
Facilitated single on-point conversation.
Facilitated single on-point conversation.
Be present, no distraction, devices, laptops closed.
Be present.
Meeting objective and takeaways.
Objectives and takeaways. Ooh, takeaways. Maybe we have some here. What else?
Use objectives for meetings and end when achieved.
End when objectives are achieved. You don't have to fill the time box. I love it. Great ideas. What else?
Have an experienced, competent facilitator.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Sorry. Experienced, competent facilitator is necessary, right? Now we're drifting into 24s, right?
Mine was the same as hers. Publish outcomes desired, once achieved, end the meeting.
So, all right, publish outcomes, and when we get there,
Get the appropriate people to the meeting.
get the right people in the room.
Objectives.
Outcomes.
Stop tolerating bad meetings and bad behavior.
Ooh, stop tolerating bad meetings and bad behavior. I'm glad that one made it towards the top. What else? Clear goals.
Safe place for people to participate.
Safe place for participation. Psychological safety, that's a thing. 2 more.
I had right people.
Right people? Go ahead. Same? Clear purpose.
Focus on
Minimal topics.
Ask the right question.
Right questions. So you see themes emerging too? So how quickly have we leveraged the amazing intelligence of the room to come up with the best ideas on how to have better meetings? Right? Who felt like their ideas were heard and they had a fair shake? Anyone feel that they didn't? Could this lead to better meetings? Thank you for helping me. This is a great product backlog. You all did great. You can take your seats. We'll recap and close out. Nice. Good work. You are welcome to being a PBI, yes. All right, so we should talk a little bit about what we just did, right? 2510 crowdsourcing. If you're unsure what to build in your products, if you're unsure what should be in your product backlog, I do not know a simpler way. Hundreds of people in a room and we pulled it off, right? It's a little tricky on the first round or two, but we made it happen. Could you do this with 50 of your best customers quickly to find out what's truly needed in your products? What a great way to leverage that intelligence, right? That's just one of many applications. So which liberating structures did we use? Let's recap this. You used impromptu networking, where we shared our experiences and our collective intelligence about a topic quickly with multiple people. We primed the pump. We got past the obvious, right? We went into a TRIZ, but guess what? The first part of a TRIZ is a 1, 2, 4 all. So you got a bonus structure out of this, right? 1 minute on your own, 2 minutes with a partner, 4 minutes in a group. We are building, combining, and refining ideas and lists so that we have the best ideas out of the group, right? We then went into a TRIZ where we said, how do we have this crazy idea? We're basically setting a negative situation. A question that we use in the Advanced Scrum Master PSM2 course is, how do we make sure our product owner fails? And then as Scrum Masters, we get confronted with, oh wait, we're causing them to fail. This is a mindset shift. If you're trying to have a true coaching moment with your teams, a TRIZ is a beautiful tool. Be careful. Sometimes people walk away a little hurt. Use this carefully. With meetings, everyone hates them, so it's like, okay, we'll fix it. When you're using a more pointed topic, this gets a little interesting, right? So not only did we come up with a list of how to have the most horrible, no good, very bad meeting, we then figured out the behaviors we were doing and some of the things that we need to start doing to make them better. This is how you improve, right? Someone says, well, we don't know what our impediments are. TRIZ will tell you real quick, right? All the bad things we're doing to cause our own failure, yeah, that's an impediment backlog right there. Agreed? We use 2510 crowdsourcing to figure out the best ideas in the room or the highest ranked ideas in the room on how to solve this problem. Every voice was heard. The intelligence of this room was leveraged. I did no work. None of my ideas appeared, did they? Right? I told a few jokes. I highlighted a few funny things. All I did was set the structure. You all decided the best ways going forward, right? 2510 crowdsourcing, a great way to quickly figure out the best or at least most interesting ideas in a room, right? Now, some of the ideas at the bottom of the list are still good. Don't discard the whole thing, but you know the themes that are rising to the top. This will show you things that could be going on in your organizations. Sound good? All right, how might I get started? Everyone asks this. Who's interested in learning more about liberating structures? All right, so we've primed the pump. Good. The app is awesome. I use it every time I'm facilitating a workshop. Get that app on your phone. It gives you the steps, the invitations, the prompts. There's a lot of great content on scrum.org, the Liberators out of the Netherlands, Barry Overeem and Christian Verwoes. They've done a great job documenting these. If you check out ryanripley.com, there's content that will be popping up. Where can you practice? There is a regional gathering in Boston in September. There's a link here Visit me at the scrum.org booth if you want to check out more information about that. 2 days, we practice 20 structures. Great time to deep dive liberating structures. How can you get a hold of me? If you want to continue this conversation, I'm over in the booth area for the rest of the day. Please come visit. It's going to get boring, right? If you don't, I'd love to talk more about Scrum or liberating structures or whatever you like. You can send me an email and I promise to answer, right? If you have questions, I'll send you more content. I'll send you Barry and Christian stuff. Whatever you have questions about, I'll try to help. Hit me up on Twitter at Ryan Ripley or visit ryanripley.com. And I think my time box is up. Cool.